There are simple things that stop you from having the home that you want. And I'm sorry, but I don't think budget is one of them. Let's talk about it. Lately, I've noticed something. I have friends who move into a new apartment and say they want to make it beautiful, or they want to refresh their current place and finally make it look the way they have always wanted. Or they spend hours sending me inspiration photos and talking about all the things they are going to do. And then 6 months later, nothing has changed. They're still living in a pretty much the same apartment, the same furniture, the same setup, the same unfinished ideas. And then they wonder why they don't love their space. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everybody needs a perfect home and everybody should care about home decor. Some people genuinely don't care. Good for them. And that's completely fine. But if you're someone who says you want a beautiful home, or you want your space to feel better, or you want to enjoy being there more, then I think there are a few things that stop people from getting there. The first reason is much simpler. People don't care enough. I know that sounds harsh, but hear me out. When I say people don't care enough, I don't mean they don't want a beautiful home. I mean they don't care enough to put in time, energy, patience, and commitment that having a beautiful home actually requires. Let me give you an example. I have a friend who was moving into a new place and needed a couch. He asked me for recommendations, so I sent him a few options. He loved them. He said they were exactly what he was looking for. Then he checked the delivery times and found out it would take 3 or 4 months to get one of them. And suddenly he didn't want it anymore. Instead, he bought something that was available right away. Now, that's completely his choice, but here's my point. He knew he was moving months in advance. He had already been planning the move. He already had the apartment. If he really cared about having the specific couch, he could have ordered it earlier and waited. Instead, convenience won. And again, that's okay, but then you can't turn around and say, I wish my home looked exactly the way I wanted. Because sometimes getting exactly what you want requires patience, and patience is part of the price. Another thing I see all the time is people who want a beautiful home but refuse to acknowledge the things that are making it harder. And I'm sorry, but I have to say it. Tech is going to make your house ugly. I know people who have gaming consoles, giant monitors, cables everywhere, speakers, chargers, gadgets, accessories, controllers, and 20 different pieces of technology that I don't even know how to name. And at the same time, they want their home to look like a luxury interior design photos. Those two things are often fighting each other. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have those things. If gaming is your hobby, amazing. If tech is your hobby, perfect. Keep buying it, enjoy it. But if you care about your home, then you need to care enough to find a solution for all those tech stuff. You need cable management, you need storage, you need a system. You need to think about how those things fit into your space. Because if you just keep adding more and more equipment without thinking about it, then yes, your house is going to suffer. Again, it's not about money, it's about effort. It's about caring enough to solve the problem. Another excuse I hear all the time, well, it's just a rental. Or I'm only living here for a year. Or I'm only staying here temporarily. And honestly, I don't relate to that at all. I mean, if I'm living somewhere for 3 months, I still want it to look like home. I still want it to feel welcoming. And I want it to be beautiful. And honestly, I don't relate to that mindset at all. If I'm living somewhere for 3 months, I still want it to feel like home. I still want it to feel welcoming. and I want it to be beautiful because I'm the one living there. I'm the one waking up there every day. So personally, I don't care whether it's a rental, a condo, a house, or like a temporary apartment. I still want to enjoy the space. But then I don't think the issue is the rental. I think the issue is that creating a beautiful home isn't important enough to you. And again, that's okay, but let's call it what it is. Then there are partners and roommates. This one is real. People will say, I want this dining table, but my partner wants a different one. Or I want this style, but my partner likes another style. Or my roommate has different furniture than I do. And yes, that makes things harder. Of course it does. But I still think it comes back to caring enough, because if you care enough, you find compromises. You have conversations. You look for solutions. You meet somewhere in the middle. Is it easy? No. But relationships aren't easy. Living with people isn't easy. Compromises aren't easy. And sometimes that's simply part of the price you pay for creating a home that works for everyone. The same thing applies to roommates. You have your stuff, they have their stuff. You have your own taste, they have theirs. But if everyone cares enough, usually there's a middle ground. Usually there is a way to make the space feel more intentional. The next thing I see all the time is people who don't actually know their style. And this one is huge. They will tell me, I want this couch, I want this rug, I want this lamp, this dining table, and every single item looks good on its own. But when you put them together, it's a disaster. Because they're all coming from different directions. The problem isn't that the pieces are ugly. The problem is that there is no vision. There is no commitment. And I think commitment is something people don't talk about enough when it comes to home design. Let's say you have decided that you love Japanese style. Okay, now you have to stick with it, or at least stay close to it. You can't suddenly fall in love with every trend you see online and bring it home. Well, technically you can, but then don't be surprised when the space starts feeling chaotic. The truth is that there are a lot of beautiful things out there, a lot. The problem is that not all of them belong together, and I think that's where people struggle. Because they almost want everything. Eclectic, modern, traditional, minimalism, and they want cozy. They want it all. And eventually they end up with a space that doesn't feel like anything because they never committed. And honestly, I think having a beautiful home requires commitment. You have to commit to a direction and to a style. You have to commit to certain decisions. And yes, that means saying no to other beautiful things. So, yes, when I look at the people around me, I don't think money is the biggest thing stopping them from having the home they want. I think it's usually one of these things. Not enough patience, not enough effort, not enough commitment, not enough willingness to compromise, not enough clarity about what they actually like. And again, I'm not saying everybody should care about this stuff, not at all. But if having a beautiful home is important to you, then I think these are the real costs. Anyway, that's my opinion. I'm curious about yours. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.